Hello? Huh? Ah? Are we back? Now everything says streaming. All right, we might be okay. Oh, we got YouTube. I just logged out and re-logged into everything. It's been a couple weeks. Maybe that's what happened. All right, guys. Are we back? A little technical difficulties. It's cool. We're not on foul territory this time, though, so I can do this stuff. Hello, we're back. Thank you for not leaving. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, let's let you guys filter in here. All right. If you're wondering why we are live on a Tuesday, it's because I told you about it. It's because I flew back from New York City yesterday. Long day. I'll be honest, I wrote the majority of the show on the plane. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy life. I don't know if you can see the bags in your eyes, but your boy's tired. So we're going to get right into the show. The second hour, if you missed the first hour, go check it out at Foul Territory on their YouTube channel, please and thank you. But for now, I have a thing that I realized I didn't know anything about. And now I do, and I'm going to share it with you, all right? We're going to get right into the nitty-gritty. This is going deep. And because next week we're going to do a full halfway through the year kind of check-in with like player breakdowns and ranking lists and all kinds of stuff. That's what the whole show is going to be. Today we're going to do some fun stories that I did research for you. I wanted to figure it out. So going deep, why do righties throw harder than lefties? Does anyone here in the comments/chat know why left-handers don't throw as hard as righties? Because I was doing, I was doing SiriusXM radio about a month ago, and we were talking about Durangelo Sainja, the ambidextrous pitcher that was drafted by the Seattle Mariners, I believe last year. Throws very hard right-handed and pretty hard lefty. On average, chalk it up. On average, lefties throw not as hard as righties. On average. Okay, I know Tarek Skubal throws 100, but on average, it's different. So we were talking about Sainja, and he throws with both hands. He throws like, he can get up to 97, 98 right-handed, and throws about 92 to 95 lefty. Even the guy who throws with both hands doesn't throw as hard left-handed. I was like, why is this? So I did the research, and it comes down, asked some questions, and came down to some really interesting conclusions. So as of right now in the major leagues, the average four-seam fastball for a righty is 94.7, which means I retired at the right time because that's what my average fastball was my last year. And my God, what knowing my fastball being average would do to my mental health would not be pretty. On the flip side, literally, lefties are averaging 93.4. Now, they have also slowly increased, as have righties, because the technology behind how to throw hard has gotten better, but they're still behind righties by 1.5 miles an hour, which is kind of what it's been. Like that buffer has been anywhere from like 1.5 to 2 miles an hour since we've been tracking velocity. Interestingly enough, I just mentioned an ambidextrous pitcher, but another one, Pat Venditti, who got to the big leagues, did it. Wasn't a hard thrower, but still threw harder right-handed. He could throw get up to 90, 91 right-handed, and he was throwing like 85 lefty. So I was like, even that guy does not throw as hard left-handed as he does righty. So I had questions, and I wanted to break them down as follows, because these questions are really interesting. First of all, you want to know, there's been studies too, so we're going to cite some studies. I did some research via the interwebs. So this stuff has been figured out before, but I feel like there's not a lot of people that know exactly how, okay? So first question was, is there a physical difference between, oh my God, I did not mean to do that. Anyway, is there a physical difference between righties and lefties? Like, is there anything physiologically different between us? And the short answer is no. Right-handed pitchers and left-handed pitchers are literally mirrored to each other. Like, there is no it's not like human beings have like a stronger, side of the back, or like one leg is naturally stronger than the other, like based on how we're put together. Those things vary wildly. So it's not physiology. It's not anything about the human body, okay? But I also was wondering, like, is it mechanical? Like, is there a mechanic situation, right? Is there like something to do with how we're developed? We create the foot contact acceleration. This is a really cool graphic put out by Driveline. But do they like create hip shoulder separation differently? Like, is there something about the left side of the mounds? Is there something about, but fields are freaking, they're mirrored. Like, there's no difference there. And there's also very few mechanical differences. A 2019 study of 96 lefties and 96 righties matched for size and velocity. So it's about the same on both. Found that only 4 of the 31 variables they checked were different. Righties achieved slightly greater stride foot landing distance, meaning their extension was just a little farther. They had better hip shoulder separation, which comes from throwing harder. So because these guys throw a little bit harder, they generally have better hip shoulder separation and more maximum shoulder external. Basically, how far you get back here. Again, that's all these things are related to each other. So if one of them's longer, the other ones are usually longer. And those 4 things don't explain why righties throw harder. It explains that they throw harder. Like, everyone goes, yeah, righties throw harder because they do these things. But it doesn't explain why they do those things better than lefties. Like, why can't lefties get there? And the conclusion they came to was they can. They just don't. Like, they just don't for some reason. So it's not physical and it's not mechanical, because there are really hard throwing lefties. Look, Shane McClanahan, freaking Tarek Skubal, Roldis Chapman, the dude from the Rays that throws a zillion miles an hour. Like, they exist. So like the top velos are all comparable, but the averages are low, which leads us to another question. This one was very interesting to me because I had a conversation fairly recently for Cut on the Diamond with Rich Hill. Rich Hill told me that he started throwing left-handed when he was a kid, but he does everything right-handed. He opens doors up, he wears his watch on his left hand, he like eats, he writes, he does everything right-handed. I was like, is there something about that? Is there something about you only using your left hand for just pitching? And what studies found was lefties tend to be more evenly built than righties. Righties get very one-side dominant. That's why you see everyone says lefties are weird, because they're like good at weird things and they're very weirdly ambidextrous. It's because the world's built for righties, and so they do everything right-handed. But they just learn to pitch left-handed, and there's just more lefties that do that than righties. There are way more lefties that write righty than righties that write lefty. Like, way more. Because who wants to write left-handed and drag their hand across the paper? Like, everything we do is for righties. So they have come to the conclusion that maybe there's a little bit of righties throw harder because they're so good one side that they get a little bit of extra strength. Right? They think there might be something to that, which makes a lot of sense to me. But long term, having more parity between the sides of your body is better for you. So that's not necessarily a good thing health-wise either. So my third question was then, okay, then what the hell is it? And it turns out that it's just statistics. So someone said this earlier in the presentation, because that's what this is. It comes down to just statistics. And what I mean by that is follows. The stats behind kind of 2 major big factors: baseball strategy and going for the outlier method, okay? So baseball has there's big value put on being different, okay? So like Tyler Rogers, the submariner, for example, is effective mostly because he's so much different than everyone else. Because there are a lot less lefties. Lefties are a different look, right? It just looks different. You can mix in a lefty to look like two different pitchers. That's always been part of strategy. So lefties coming in and looking different have been a part of building your team since the inception of the game. When that happens, that incentivizes lefties doing things that are different. So if the righties throw really hard, it's not as important for the lefties to throw really hard. So that is one thing, strategy that affects development, right? But that is intent. That's like a thing, like I don't need to throw as hard because I throw sliders every time. Like stuff like that, because that's what my job is. Now the loogie, basically a lefty, we come in and face only one lefty and get pulled, that's gone. So now everyone has to face three batters, and now lefties can't be used that way. So the velos have climbed for lefties because they got rid of that. Had they not gotten rid of that, we'd still see a huge disparity between their velos. But the second part of this statistics explanation is the most fascinating. And it just comes down to how many we have of each. In the population, only 10% of people are left-hand dominant, while 90% are right-side dominant. But in share of pitching in the major leagues, 30% of pitchers are left-handed, 70% are righties. So that means more left-handed pitchers overall, total, starting in Little League, a higher percentage of those guys are going to get to the big leagues, and so the lowest velocities are going to be lower than the guys for the righties. Basically, being a right-handed pitcher, you have to throw hard to be competitive because you're competing against 90% of the population for 70% of the jobs. When that happens, you prioritize the highest priority kind of metric that tells you they're good, and that's velo for the most part. If you throw hard, you get more opportunities. It's the number one most valuable thing. Lefties, velo is just not as important because guys throw 92 still might make it into that group of people because only 10% of the population is going for 30% of the jobs. So it's technically a lower bar, but because there are less total pitchers to choose from for more jobs and vice versa for righties. And then righties have to compete, therefore driving their velo up even more, which causes the disparity. And that's why it never goes away. So, as always here on the show, it comes down to math. Isn't that something? You like this graphic too? It's just, see, like these are the righties and those are the lefties. Do you guys get it? Cool. So, if you're a left-handed pitcher, correct. Keep doing that. If you're a right-handed pitcher, good luck. And basically, the thing I take from this whole thing is, I'm so good. Anywho, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of that. Now you know. It's something now you know. Okay, you didn't know fully. You had to get you thought you knew, but I did the work for you. So now you know. Congratulations. And that's why righties throw harder. So the more you know. But I got a thing for this. So the more you know. That was going to be a slow zoom. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the All-Star game. Who's going to the All-Star game? Raise your hand. Or click 1 in the chat or whatever. Who's going to the All-Star game? I want to have a conversation. We got a lot to talk about today. Nobody? Cool. Roger. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the All-Star game. All-Star game's coming up in a couple weeks. Very excited to see how this one plays out. We're back in Atlanta because I guess they changed the law that they moved it from. No, nothing changed. We just stopped talking about it, and now we're back, which is silly. But I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star game, and I want to get your sentiment on it, and we're going to check in on the voting, okay? So that's what we're going to do with this. Real quick, we're going to just go right into it. But what I need you to know is, because I think this is a conversation that happens a lot, especially like in the media landscape, like, does anyone even like the All-Star game? Like, are we even like, do we even care? And I asked the people, and they said, what did they say? I mean, the majority said they love it, dude. This got over 1,000 votes. Which, by the way, if you're not in this group, do it on Instagram. But yes, I love it. We have sometimes. Sometimes is good. I think it's a solid one, and the other one's like nah. But I like the Homer Derby. But very few people said no. Like most people were like yeah, I like the All-Star Game. I like the way I like what it is. I like what it's about. It's a lot of fun. I love to complain about the jerseys or whatever. Right? So that's good to know. That means that's a good sign. This is actually something positive that I actually didn't anticipate. I thought everyone would be like, I hate it, it's stupid. But that leads me kind of to the next question. Is fan voting a little bit too powerful, too influential? Because we did our phase 1, which is all fans voting, and we got some guys leading in some categories that even though they're not out of it yet, they probably should have been in the fan vote if the fans, not my quote, I saw this on Twitter. I'm not going to quote who it is because I don't even remember who it was, but they said they don't know ball. They said fans don't know ball because they're just voting for the names they know. And surprise, it was like pretty much just the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are really good, so most of these guys deserve it. But there is some possible snubs, that we need to make sure we pay attention to just in case they end up actually getting snubbed in phase 2. Okay, so here's the snubs possibly, and these are going to be tweets. These are tweets, so full credit to the people who put out these tweets. But let's check these snubs out. Who are they? Are these guys going to get snubbed, or are they going to end up making it? And I think that most of these guys are going to make it, but it's still worth talking about. Snub number 1. Oh my God, James Wood is so good. He got walked intentionally 4 times the other day for the first time since Barry Bonds. That is crazy, okay? This is him versus Teoscar Hernandez, who Teoscar is, shout out to Fuzzy, by the way. Fuzzy, you should sub to his YouTube channel too. He does daily recaps. The guy works so hard, it's crazy. It's actually insane. He puts out the number of videos he does. So if you like more baseball content, don't follow Fuzzy yet. What are you doing? James Wood had 1 million less votes than Teoscar Hernandez. Now, Teoscar is a great player. I mean, he's been good for them. But my God, like that's not even close. That's a 926 OPS. He's got 8 more homers. They don't have any categories where James Wood isn't leading. And by the way, this isn't James Wood as in the voice of Hades. This is James Wood as in the baseball player. So, come on, guys, figure it out. Come on, guys, figure your lives out, please. Thank you. All right. Hold on. Am I getting peaking in this microphone? It sounds weird. Anyway, fix it, or maybe. Okay. All right. Next snub. Hopefully, so that said, James Wood, he's going. He's 100% going to go. The players will vote him in. The nice thing about this, I want you guys to know, players know, especially pitchers. Any pitchers pitch to that guy's like, no, that guy's in. I'm voting for him. What the hell? I'm voting for him. What are we doing? Right? Another one, Mookie Betts is leading in this one over Ellie De La Cruz. The only difference, WAR. Do I think that's a all-star season for Mookie Betts? No, I don't. I think that Ellie De La Cruz should have this easy, and it makes me sad that it's different. That it's not that way. Oh my God! Did my mic? Hold on, bro. What is happening? Testing. Testing. Cool. We're just going to take the time to fix things, I think. I would like it to be a little louder. Test. Oh, way better. Cool. Not going to get mad. Okay? All right. Next, so over Mookie Betts, should he make it? Maybe. Should he make it? Maybe. No, I think this is an Ellie De La Cruz. What about Suarez versus Max Muncy? You notice a trend here, Dodgers. This one's not close either. Though I do find it pretty funny that Max Muncy has more stolen bases. What? Test. Testing. Test. 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 How are we doing? Are we popping? Finger popping? Pop. Pickety pop pop. So I'm gonna try this one more time. We're gonna go on the outside of the shirt. Because this is actually like, we're gonna try something new. Try this. Pinch it like that, and we're gonna turn it upwards. Boom. Oh yeah, baby. That's way better. I don't know what was going on. That doesn't make any sense to me. But it sounds like it's fixed. Huh? Beautiful. Okay. Nothing's different, but okay. Continuing forward. Okay, so who else got snubbed? I need you guys to participate in the chat. My God, my life. On my list, I have Jonathan Aranda because I want to check out where we are in the All-Star voting. But I have Jonathan Aranda, Brandon Lau, Byron Buxton somehow did not get on the fan vote. Oh, All-Star. Ooh, there's only 24 hours left. Oh no! Vote now. Pro smear, blah, 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 blah. Wait, we can still vote. Okay, so where we are right now. So no, Bucks did not make the first run through. He'll get in as your own twin. So that's one thing we got to talk about here. All right, so we're going phase 2. And currently, okay, so let's just put this up. Let's check out where we are. Let's get some updates and let's give our hey, if I could never see a pop-up again in my life, it would be too soon. All right, let's check in on this stuff and see what's up. All right. Gonna go here, we're gonna demo. All right, putting up the All-Star ballots. Mackenzie Gore's getting snubbed? What is happening? Well, we can't vote on pitchers. So right now, Vladimir Guerrero is leading Paul Goldschmidt, and Jonathan Aranda is not in the list, which drives me absolutely crazy. Okay, so right now, Vlad is winning for first, second base, Gleyber Torres, Jackson Holiday. I'm okay with those two. I can't remember who we put at second. I think we did Gleyber. So I'm a fan of that. Jacob Wilson, leading the Athletics. We had him as well. Jose Ramirez, duh. Easy. Riley Green, Javi Baez, and Mike Trout. Now, I don't know about Trout, and I don't know about Baez. Baez has been very good, right? But like he's not even to his previous levels. Cal Raleigh, how's he getting in? Ryan O'Hearn as the DH, I like that a lot. And here's the National League. Freddie Freeman just over Pete Alonso. I think Pete should be in easy. Ketel Marte over Tommy Edman, thank God. Lindor, he deserves it. I hope he gets in. Machado, he has been solid, though the power hasn't been crazy. And the outfield, Ronald Acuna, Pete Crow, Armstrong, Kyle Tucker. The thing about Ronald Acuna, man, he's been so good since he came back. Are you saying Cal shouldn't be in? No, that was a big joke. I'm big time joking. So CJ Abrams at third. So let's check. I want to go check on our voting. Can we vote again? We can, can't we? Believe. Vote now. Let's vote now. Let's vote again. Oh, okay. So it's between these two guys. So you're telling me that Jonathan Aranda is not even in the top 2? Now, remember, there's going to be player choices, and there's going to be guys that get in from the manager, and there's going to be guys that get in because the team has to send somebody, right? If all-star selections affect incentives and salaries, we need to do better since it's a popular contest. Pamela, it does affect incentives, but not really salary that much. It's not huge. But I don't agree that we don't need fan voting either, because we need fan voting because it's for fans. So real quick, I'm just going to go through this. I think Pete should go there. I'll go Glaber and Ketel. We're going to go Jose, clearly, and Machado. This doesn't seem particularly close. Jacob Wilson, though it's getting closer. Real quick, Bobby's coming for him. And he might run out of time here. But I think having these rookies, and we're going to talk about Jacob in a little bit. Lindor, obviously. Carson Kelly or Will Smith. Also not really that close for me. The fact that Cal Raleigh's just not in is mind-boggling. Judge is in. Surprise. Riley Green. How many do we get to vote for? 2? Yeah, I guess Javi with Riley. And then I'm going to go PCA. Soto's at 20 homers, 900 OPS. Here he comes. Here he comes. I'm going to go. Dude, how we go? I mean, I feel like Tucker and PCA are like the 2 bet. Oh, my God. I'm doing it. Sorry, Ronald. You only played 30 games. And we'll go Hearn. I feel good about this. How are we feeling about this? Does Jacob Mizraski have a chance at Cy Young? No, he does not. No. He's only thrown 19 innings, man. He's just not going to throw enough innings. There's no way. Just like Skeens did last year. All right. NL needs another outfielder? Do they? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I could have chose 3? Oh, because there's no place to... Oh, okay. Edit my player picks. Ooh, I can add another one. Okay, well, then we're going to very clearly add Acuna. How do I not choose Soto? I mean, he's going to get in. Soto's going to get in. He's the best. But, like... Oh, I have another vote remaining? I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that after the show because I'm going to leak my stuff and I don't want to do it. How are we feeling about this, though, for phase 2? I feel good about it, and James Wood, though. Wait, so James Wood he's not even in the final? Dude, that's ridiculous. James Wood needs to be in this. He's like top... What? Hey, don't tell me I need glasses because I actually do. James Wood over Acuna. Well, Acuna is one of the most dynamic players in the league, or in the major leagues now, and they're not gonna not put him in. It's just the way it is. All right, guys, that is my ballot. How are we feeling about the All-Star game? Are we feeling good about it? I'm thinking about maybe doing a little watch thing. Probably not going to. I'm taking the All-Star game off because I need to make YouTube videos. I have a lot of things to work on. So that week, we're doing a show All-Star Week, by the way. We will have a show All-Star Week, but I am not going down to Atlanta. So, I mean, watch party in terms of maybe being on Discord or something while the game's on, because they won't let me broadcast the game because they hate me. But would you guys be open to maybe possibly doing some What the Internet Says? Isn't that interesting? Because I think it's time. to get into it. Internet says we have some nasty pitches, guys, but we're going to probably push them to next week because I ran out of time today and I want to answer some questions for the end of the stream. So if you guys get your questions all fired up, ready to go, start throwing them in the chat. We'll grab them and we'll do a little AMA at the end because I just released a Q&A video that I thought was really, really fun and a lot of really great questions in it. So that is something you're interested in doing. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, let's get into what the internet is saying and some really fun stuff here because this is great. This is Jacob Wilson. He is the third baseman and probably all-star, or third baseman, shortstop and probably all-star for the A's. That was me redacting the first part. He recently did answered some questions of Jeff Passan from ESPN, fan of the show. Actually, I don't know if he's a fan of the show. I like to think he is. The show is a fan of Jeff Passan. But he said some really great things about video games. And I am so excited someone that's not me did it. So let's talk about it a little bit. Quote from Jacob Wilson, I am a big believer in video games. It's fast decision-making strategy. I think that gets me ready for the game because when you're in the box, you have to process a lot. So there's some days I'll wake up and I'll play video games. Then I'll go to the field and I'll have a good day. Some days I won't play and I won't see the ball well. I think it really helps me train the kind of decision-making that I have to make 6-7 hours later at the baseball field. Specifically, he's talking about Fortnite. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that Crankin' 90s really does get you ready to make quick decisions, okay? In addition to his quotes, there were some quotes from A's infielder Max Muncy. This is the A's Max Muncy. If we play a game with me, him, and the guys we know, and you kill him once, you're like, that's a good day, A's infielder Max Muncy said. You could play 50 rounds. Just once is good. So it sounds like Jacob Wilson's real good at Fortnite. I wonder if he's as good as Kyle Tucker, because that guy's the best player I've ever played against. Jacob Wilson's father, former Pirates shortstop Jack Wilson, has supported his son's Fortnite hobby as an alternative training technique. Let's go! Kids, video games are games. Parents at home, remember, video games are games. And games teach problem solving, puzzles, figuring out how to do it the best way. These things are all valuable. Of course, there is such thing as too much. Of course, there is addiction associated with this, but it's board games, handheld games, video games, all of them have elements of trying to get from A to Z and figuring out the best way to do it. And I love that Fortnite is being used this way. It makes me so happy. And you know how I feel about video games. Jack Wilson actually says he used to play ping pong for the same reason. It got him thinking the same way. You know what ping pong is? A game. So keep that in mind. As long as the kids are enjoying themselves, they're being socialized, and they're like, you can hear them really enjoying figuring out how to do it. Games are great. It's when it becomes detrimental when you're trying to push through maybe some fatigue and not taking a break. That's when it can get bad. So kids out there, keep it up. I like it. All right, next up we have, there's some new games. They're coming back. College basketball video game is on its way back. In 2028 is college baseball next. This is MVP 206 NCAA baseball. I was a fan of it. I believe, the Texas guy in the front. Didn't know who any of the players were, but God, I love playing college sports on freaking on consoles. Too bad none of the players are getting paid for it. But if they do it now, NIL, love that. Following the smashing success of college football's video games revival, of course it's popular again. The fact they got rid of that makes no sense. EA Sports is going to bring back college basketball for the 2028 season. It's teased the news on Monday, and it has not had a basketball game since 2009, so big fan of this. I love all the video games we're talking about today. EA last made college baseball in 2006. This was the last time they made it, so 18 years later, I think we're due. What would I like to see in it? I just want it to be the show. But I want the College World Series to be this huge thing. That's what I would want. Let me know what you guys would want, because I think that this just needs to exist. In other really positive and fun news, this is a suit that was installed in Cincinnati for Terry Francona. Tito now has a boat seat so that he doesn't have to stand for the whole game. Anyone who doesn't know, that is usually what the seat that's in the boats for the pilot and for fishing or whatever. Like, it's like a little swivel seat. It's got a little pad that collapses or extends. So Francona being taken care of by the team, and I just love stuff like that. Take care of the people that are doing the work. And then we have this crazy slide from Chase Mydroff. We don't talk about them a lot, but this is the White Sox we're talking about, where he seemed to, pull a Neo as he was trying to slide in second. We have to throw down here, little sideways throw, and he stopped his momentum just in time to not get tagged. This is beautiful. It's almost like the wind, right? He's like, whoop. Then we got to fall over. Thing of beauty. How about that angle, too? We never get angles like that. Pretty sick. Completely on accident, but love to see it. Congratulations, Chase. Super cool, bro. Super cool. All right, last thing. Crazy fact of the week. Isn't that interesting? Here's your crazy fact of the week. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, James Wood was intentionally walked 4 times in a game a few days ago, becoming the first player to receive such treatment since 04 Barry Bonds. Bonds had such an occurrence 4 different times that year, with a total of 120 intentional walks total. His intentional walks alone that year would have led the National League in walks. Would have led the National League in intentional walks 11 of the last 25 years. So he was intentionally walked 120 times. That would have led the whole league, like everybody, full teams. It would have led the whole league as for a whole team 11 of the next 25 years, and not including the 7 times. This is since he played, not including the 7 times he did it while he was playing. So basically what was happening is nobody in the league was getting intentionally walked, and Barry Bonds was getting intentionally walked like 60% of the time. What a crazy, crazy stat. Thanks, Henry. Good job. All right, guys, let's do an AMA here. Let's ask me anything. Let's see if I can get some music here. Ask me anything, everybody. Get your chat or get your questions in the chat. We will put them up on the screen. Actually, we can't put them up on the screen with this. For some reason, the overlay isn't on the large thing, so we're going to do it here. We're going to do it here. AMA. It's so sweaty in here. Oh my God, I'm so hot. Trevor, what did you think of Frank the Tank? Jenks is my guy. Frank the Tank and I, let me just do this really quick so I can see better. Frank the Tank and I had a really great walk. I'm not going to give too much. I'm not going to give too many spoilers because he is going to be releasing that on his channel. He's got a bunch of the walks with Frank ready to post, but it was really great. And I think that I think Frank needs more opportunities to actually talk about ball because that guy knows ball. Ooh, we have a hot take. James Wood will be better than Barry. Pardon me? That's a crazy thing to say. James would be better than Barry. You nuts? Hey, but what if, though? What if he is? What if he is? All right. Keep them coming. More questions. How's the training going? I think that question is reference to Trevor Throws Cheese, my initiative to throw 100 by November 2nd. How is it going? Kinda. It's going kind of good. Though I have dropped 7 pounds already. On Substack, you'll be able to follow along with my tracking. I actually have to do my onboarding for my trainers tomorrow so that we can get started. But the next couple weeks, I'm really going to be off to the races and filming our first episode. So expect the first episode of Trevor Throws Cheese to come out along for him on the YouTube channel at some point in the August, probably. Most likely August. But I am down weight. And I have thrown a lot. And when I went to John Boy and threw with them, because that video is coming out too, a video I did with Charlie Olive, so look out for that. It felt really good. So I have been throwing regularly. I've been throwing 4 to 5 times a week for the last couple weeks. So we're working. We're working. Mariners scoring 70 runs total is the biggest surprise, Lamau. What? I don't know what this one's referring to. I'm confused. Oh, hold on. Let me answer the question. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you aged me like 10 years by saying it's been 23 years since Bud Selig. My knees, my back hurt now. They always hurt. You just weren't thinking about them. Hey, you know what else you're not thinking about? Did you know that somewhere on your body itches right now? Did you scratch it? Isn't that mean? If I were a stand-up comedian, I would do that to the crowd every single time. Team A Fortnite stream. Unfortunately, those days might be gone. I am going to be doing a charity stream in a couple weeks, though. We're going to be playing Peak and playing with Paul and Jen. Again, it's going to be fun. It's going to be wonderful. Don't you hate to when you scratch one itch, then it starts to move around? Okay, here's a great question. From My Nips Hurt, nice. Will the Nationals ever be good again? Yes. I think they will be. I like the core they have. I just think what they're missing is, it feels like it's a development issue at this point. Because they have tons of talent. It's just for some reason, they're not getting any starting pitching continuity. And I think that I just think that maybe Luis Garcia and like Hebert Ruiz just aren't it. I think that they're just kind of erratic. But I like the CG. I like the core. I think they have Mackenzie Gore is potentially a true ace. They have a shortstop. They have a number one pitcher. They got a great defensive outfielder, center fielder. Like those are the things you need. They all throw hard, so it's within the realm of possibility. It's just about executing at this point. So the fact that they're just better than their record says, and I felt that way for the last 3 years now. And they got James Wood. Like they got potential absolute studs. So like, are you the Angels? Or are you gonna get better? And how are we developing our players? And to be honest, I don't know a lot about the player development situation there. So, but I do believe they should be good again. It should happen. It should happen. How do you think the offseason will go for Luis Arias since he's basically a DH with no power? It's going to go a lot worse than a lot of people anticipate. I think he's gonna hold out a little bit because he's won 3 batting titles in a row, and that counts for something. But don't expect him to sign more than like a 3-year deal. And I just think that's the nature of it. He doesn't really play he can play first and it's fine, but he's not a great defensive player. He doesn't run and he's just a contact guy. And so the positions that he plays in the field don't really line up with the output of the bat. The output meaning run creation, not like getting on base. So like he either needs to get on base and get savvy at stealing or something, or he needs to have a position that he needs to get a much better defensively. But I anticipate him getting like a 2 or 3 year deal for like a 2 for 30 or something is my guess. Oof. What was the most unique hobby another guy in the clubhouse had? That's a good question. Anyone do anything weird? So we got a lot of like hunting, fishing, outdoorsy guys. I want to say someone like did woodworking and like they whittled, like so they would carve figurines. It was a minor leaguer. I can't remember who it was. But that was cool. I mean, most of the time it's like playing instruments, playing guitar. Is one. Yeah, I'm trying to think if it's like really off the wall stuff because I'm usually the one with all the off the wall stuff. But I think probably the wood carving was the weirdest thing. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. What's next? What do we got next? I'll do an extra like I don't know 5 maybe 10 minutes here at the end. Seems like a lot of pitchers are throwing more sweepers now more than ever. Why is that? Because the reason that pitchers are throwing more sweepers now is because we have found a tried and true way to add horizontal movement to a breaking ball. And the nice thing is, if you're good at it, you can throw 2 breaking balls now with distinctly different velocities and speeds, and I think that is what you're seeing. Most guys don't just only have a sweeper. They either have they have something called a sweeper that is actually two playing. It's going down to like Orion Kerkering, for example. It's not a true sweeper. But then you have a guy like Justin Topa, or even like Brock Stewart. They're throwing frisbee, things that are just staying sideways. Me, I had one that was depth, and then I had one that was slower and went farther to the left. So basically, guys with flatter swings, you throw the one with depth. Guys with more uppercut swings or that are farther away from the plate or can't get all the way out there, you throw the sweeper to. So that's why it's become another option that has very clear data behind the grips and how to do it. It's very easy to design. It's very easy to find if you're going to throw a good one immediately. And that's why we're seeing a lot of them go. It's just easy to pick up if you can do it. Oof. What could fix the Mets? Not having everyone get hurt. That's all it is. Like, we got to stop saying they need to be fixed. They're just losing some games. They're not broken. They're just in a slump. They're not broken. They're just in a slump. They've lost some guys. They're going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It's pretty bad. It's a Mets Swoon. I get it. But, like, there's nothing intrinsically broken about how the team's put together. People are just hurt. And some guys have underperformed lately. And sometimes a bunch of people struggle simultaneously. It has lasting effects, which I think is happening with the starting rotation not going deep into games. But Benaya's coming back. McGill will come back. They've lost Canning, but like Canning was kind of a bonus anyways, I'll be honest. So they're gonna get better. I don't know about Montas. He has not impressed me since he left the A's. So I don't know what you're gonna get out of him. But I do think that the lineup is going to continue to carry this team. And like Vientos will get going a little bit. Soto's getting really red hot. Pete's been good all year. Lindor's been good, and his foot's only going to feel better. If so facto, they're going to win more games. They're just not executing as well as they could right now. That's really all it is. So don't panic. Don't panic. Have you seen the Hall of Pretty Good? I think that we need to do a segment on the Hall of Pretty Good. So the Hall of Pretty Good, is that just a social account or is that like a whole website and things? Do you guys know? Do you guys know? Because I don't. It's an Instagram account where fans vote. We're definitely... Maybe I can reach out and they can help me do something. I think that'd be really fun because I love that. I love that. Just to be very clear, still wouldn't even sniff that one. I maybe would be an honorable mention in the Hall of was pretty solid for a couple of years. Sounds pretty fun. All right, what else we got? What other questions? Ooh, I like that Kyle Tucker one. Yeah. Does Kyle Tucker earn over $500 million? I think it's possible. How old is Kyle Tucker? He's 29? I don't think so. I don't think Kyle Tucker's going to be in the 300s probably, just because of his age. And that's the big thing. Vladdy got it because he's 26. Soto got it because he's 26. Fernando Tatis, 26. Like, you have to be like in your mid-20s to get 500 million. You just don't have enough playing years. And Tucker's a little bit older than those guys. That said, he's still going to get like 7-year, 325. I could see him getting Lindor type money. That makes a lot of sense to me. What do you think happens to Severino after the comments he made? Which comments? Which comments are you referring to? About how the Oakland's like pitching in spring training? Not Oakland, sorry. Sacramento's like pitching in spring training? Is that what comment you're mentioning? Because if that is what you're mentioning, or if that is what you mean, nothing's going to happen to him. Nothing at all. He's the highest paid player on the team. Nothing's going to happen to him. They can't get rid of him. And John Fisher doesn't watch games or know what's going on, so he doesn't care. Who is the craziest pregame ritual of any teammate you had? The craziest pregame ritual was Bob Stock. I got to show you this thing. Let's see if I can find this machine he uses. This is arc wave machine. Maybe I can find a video of it. Bob Stock. I believe he's in the big leagues again. I keep calling him Rob. Well, it's Robert Stock, but Bob Stock. Yeah, this thing. Oh my God. So this is what it looks like. This is crazy. So this is what it looks like. So this is an arc wave. Okay, so it's this box with like two diode, basically two cables that come off it, all right? So this is a welder. So this isn't exactly what he's using, but this is what it looks like. And it's the same premise, but instead of using electricity to melt metal, it's so funny. Instead of using electricity to melt metal, he uses it to wake up his body. So what it did is it almost like electrocutes you. It causes pulse. So what he would do is he'd put it on his body and that's how he warmed up. And then he'd just go out and pitch. We're like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it. He put it on his face. He'd be like, whoa. So yeah, that's real. That's a real thing. That actually happened, which is absolutely crazy. Insane. Bob Stock. What a guy. Just to be clear, though, that was a welder. Just so everyone knows, that was a welding machine. All right, a few more questions. We got about 3 minutes left. Let's get in a couple more. What's your honest take of the chances of Tampa going deep? I think Tampa is good the same way that they're good all the time. I think that Tampa is a good team. I think it remains to be seen if Shane McClanahan comes back. They need their ace. I like Zach Littell. I like Taj Bradley. I like Shane Baz, but they need their game one guy. I think they're good. They're doing the same thing they always do. If it's not Aranda, it's Yandy Diaz, right? They do this every single year. And so I think they're good. They're a good team, but can they make a run in the playoffs? I think it's just as likely they make a run in the playoffs as it always has been. But remember, 2020, they went all the way to the World Series. So absolutely possible. All right, 2 more questions. What did your post-throwing recovery look like? What would you suggest high school arms focus on? I do things called active recovery. So right when I got off the mound, you go and you do J bands, or you do. I would say stay away from weights as much as you can. Manuals were a big one, but I had a trainer. Manuals are you just kind of take your. You can learn a bunch of arm patterns, but you take your arm through some patterns and you stress it a little bit just to kind of flush them out. And then I would end with something called a Mark Pro. You can get these on Amazon. They are a couple $100, but it's basically better than icing, in my opinion. If you can't get a Mark Pro, though, ice is fine, especially in high school because you're not playing games every day. I did the Mark Pro so I could pitch and not be stiff the next day, but I highly recommend a Mark Pro. There's used ones on eBay for $100. It's the thing you just put on your arm, and it just it's kind of like the arc wave, but it kind of gives you a flush. You wear it for 30 minutes. You can fall asleep with it on. It's really good for you. Highly recommend it. I still use it when things don't feel well. So that's kind of it. You do some sort of active recovery, manuals, Eyes, Y's, and T's, Kibblers. Look all these things up. There's YouTube videos showing all this stuff out. And then I would do my recovery protocol would be ice. If you have a game ready, you have access to one of those. Those are great. You could just do ice. Do ice, take it off, put it back on, take it off. Contrast is good. If you can dunk your arm in warm water for 2 minutes, put it in icy water for 2 minutes, back and forth. If that's possible, that's another good thing you do. It's just all about flushing, making sure blood is leaving the area, coming back in, leaving the area, coming back in. But I believe the Mark Pro, MARCPRO, is the best thing out there. I really enjoyed it, but they can get really pricey. So that's just for specific situations. All right, last question. Was there a pitch or batter you faced that really made you feel like a big leaguer? Yeah, Miggy Cabrera. I was like, hey, Miggy, can I play on the same field as you? Yeah, he was my guy where I was like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. I'm in the majors. I'm in the majors. I'm one of you. One of you guys. I am one of you. I'm one of you. All right, guys. Thank you guys all. Actually, what time is it? All right, 2 more questions. I want 2 more questions. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more. How long does it take to dye your mustache? This is not dyed, my friend. 2 more questions. Throw them out. Do you think we'll see 70 home runs ever again? Cal Raleigh. Ever heard of him? I would say it's always distinctly a possibility as long as Aaron Judge is in the major leagues. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani absolutely have a chance to do it. And I think Big Dumper has a legit chance. I mean, he's got to go off. But, I mean, it's pretty impressive. So what I'll say is I think it is possible, but it'll be one of those years that the ball's juice or something. Do you think the Red Sox are up to something when it comes to opposing pitchers and knowing what pitches they're throwing? Is this in response to Chase Burns getting lit yesterday? I don't. I need you to know how hard it is to cheat. It's so hard to cheat now. It's so hard to cheat anyway. So they're probably really good at picking up tips. I know Alex Cora is very good at that. They have a lot of veterans. Trevor Story, guys in that dugout that can do it. And in Fenway, the dugout's so close, you can see everything the pitcher's doing. We had a super chat, by the way. Can we get that thrown up too? Because I can't see what it says unless we put it up on the main screen. So let's do that super chat. Actually, I'll do it. We have a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Do you agree with Goose Gotch's that pitchers are not utilizing their leg strength that's leading to more Tommy Johns? Is this just a back in my day take? That's just a... Goose Gotch's is amazing. Pitcher, very knowledgeable. But pitchers are utilizing their legs 10 times or twice as much as pitchers did back then. If you measured the force into the ground, it would be not even close. So that is, no, they're just throwing harder. They're optimizing their bodies to throw very hard. The problem is, if you have if we have, for example, let's take Mike, okay? Mike meter. If you're constantly up there just banging against the top at 100%, that mic is going to wear out faster. It's just the way that it is, right? Batteries. Like, I have an electric car. They're like, keep it between 20 and 80%, and your battery will last longer. If I'm just like going 100, 0, 100, 0, it's going to wear down. So it's just about extremes. When guys get themselves, I have 101 in the tank, and they're throwing 100 every time and just hitting 100% over and over and over and over and over and over again. The chances that their arm wears out is higher. And that's just the trade-off now to get to the big leagues. That's just what's happening. So I think that the science says that legs are being utilized. It's not like guys are like, oh, we don't care about our legs, we just want to throw hard. I don't think that's that. I just think they're getting more Tommy Johns. Because one, Tommy John's really viable, by the way. They're, like, getting Tommy John isn't the end of the world. It's actually like, oh, I can get this fixed and come back better. So they're more likely to go, green light, yeah, let's do it. And then also, guys are just optimized and throwing harder. Because they have to. It's just, that's how it's been incentivized. That's how it's incentivized amateur ball now, travel ball, college ball, everywhere. It's just the way it is. All right? Okay, guys, I have to now get out of here. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. I got to go. I went a little bit late because I messed everything up earlier and the mic was, whatever. Everything was being ruined, but I really do appreciate everyone being here. I love you guys all so very, very much. I want a big thank you to David Korn, Henry Neiman, and Caleb Bartholomew for helping produce the show and helping me design the whole thing. Also, shout out to Fema and Maddie Messina for getting our videos out into the ether. And my management, Emily Jude, thank you so much for your help as well. Before I let you go, we have a brand new thing, or not before I let you go, as I let you go, I want to thank all the subscribers, both on Twitch and on Substack, for your continued support of the channel. If you guys want to be on this outro, you can subscribe in one of those two places. I know I didn't include YouTube because honestly, YouTube is a lot of the same stuff as Twitch, and I don't want to have a bunch of different random things going on. I just wanted you to know I appreciate you one way or the other. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on Monday for another Mayday where hopefully everything doesn't break. All right, I'll see you guys, and thank you guys once again for all the subs.